All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'd like to welcome everyone who's joined us tonight for our 5th Moorpark College Foundation Job Ready Alumni Forum, spotlighting the biotechnology program this evening. And I'm proud to say that tonight's forum is sponsored by Takeda. And my name is Samantha Sale. I'm a proud member of the Moorpark College Foundation Board of Directors, but I also work for Takeda as the Thousand Oaks site's human resource leader. And I have over 8 years supporting the biotechnology industry. This forum was designed to showcase the amazing CE or career education programs at Moorpark College. Many of these career-focused programs can be completed in a year. And if you'd like more information on any of the 23 great programs, you can find them listed on the college website at moorparkcollege.edu/CE. The Job Ready Alumni Forum was created by the Moorpark College Foundation for current students, potential students considering these programs, but also for the community at large. It's a chance for us to bring back some of our successful alumni to share their experiences, both at Moorpark College and as they venture into their chosen industry. Tonight, you'll hear from our alumni on their personal journeys as they transition from being students to seasoned professionals. We'll also be hearing from an industry professional who's had the experience of employing Moorpark College students as interns or upon completion of one of the CTE programs. And to bring it all together, to add insights into the depth and breadth of the biotechnology program, we'll have a couple of our Moorpark College faculty members serving as our facilitators of the forum. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Sabash Karkar, the faculty lead in biotechnology at Moorpark, and Hovik Gasparian, a full-time biotechnology faculty member. So welcome, Sabash and Hovik, and please tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Thank you, Samantha, and good evening, everybody. My name is Sabash Karkar, and I am the lead faculty for the biotech program at Moorpark College. I have taught at Moorpark since 2007, and prior to joining Moorpark, I spent 16 years at Amgen, working in various management positions in process development and then in manufacturing. I have a PhD from Rutgers University, and I really enjoy teaching in the biotech program and to see our students progress into fruitful careers in the biotech industry. Hovik?
Subash. And my name is Hovik Gasparian. I'm sort of the newer faculty member in the biotechnology program. I've been teaching at Moorpark College for the past 2 years. Prior to this, my work experience is mostly in academia. So I have a PhD also from UC Riverside in molecular biology. I worked as a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Southern California, mostly focusing on protein biochemistry. And I taught for about 3 years at Loyola Marymount University in their biology program. And I've really enjoyed the brief time I've been a faculty member here at Moorpark in the biotech program.
Great, thank you, Sabash and Hovik. Can you both briefly describe the Moorpark College Biotech program and introduce our alumni for the evening?
Sure. As you know, biotechnology is a rapidly growing industry with projections for continued growth and exciting employment opportunities. The biotech program at Moorpark is one of a few in the state with a comprehensive curriculum in biomanufacturing. It was designed in consultation with members of our local industry, Takeda, Thermo Fisher Scientific, Amgen, and many others, to provide the essential lab and manufacturing skills needed. Our program is designed to be a very hands-on program. Hovik?
Thank you. Thank you, Subash. And so I'll add to that, students often have a misconception that you need a very strong background in math and science to enter and succeed in our program. But we offer many options where students can start working in the industry within 1 or 2 years of starting college. So for example, we offer a 1-year manufacturing operator certificate, a 1-year medical device manufacturing certificate, and a 2-year certificate of achievement in biotechnology. These certificates are also an excellent way for adult learners to start new careers in biotechnology. Students also have the option to get an associate's degree in our program and transfer to a 4-year college. So with that said, it's my pleasure to introduce some of our alumni today. So first up, we have Wahid Akberzi. Wahid, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Hovik. My name is Wahid Akburzi. I work at Gilead Sciences. I'm a clinical trial management associate, so I help lead clinical trial teams to completion with new investigational products that, if they're approved by regulatory agencies, become medicinal products that we can all purchase. And I got my Associate of Science in Biotech degree in 2009 with Sabash. So I'm glad to be here with everyone else.
Thank you very much, Wahid. Also joining us today, we have Kimberly Aguilar.
Hi everyone, my name is Kimberly. I'm a scientist here at Takeda, specializing in drug product. I got my bachelor's in science over at Channel Islands, as well as my associates at College of the Canyons, and then I went back to school to continue learning over at Moorpark.
Thank you, Kimberly. And our third panelist for this evening is going to be Sofia Nantongo.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sofia Nantongo. I work as a scientist one at Thermo Fisher, and I've been working there for 9 months. So I'm kind of new to the industry, but previously I actually have a degree in economics, and I wanted to do a career switch to biotech. So I joined the Moorpark Bio program in 2020, and I graduated in 2021 in June. And then I got the scientist one position at Thermo Fisher. So I'm really, I was really happy to be a part of that program because I'm able to, work at somewhere where I love right now.
Yeah. So I want to welcome all of you to the forum. And now I'll hand it over to Samantha, who's going to introduce our industry professional.
And I'm happy to introduce our industry professional tonight is Stephen Hackey. He's the site head plant manager at our local manufacturing site. He was appointed to the site head role of the Thousand Oaks location in 2020, but has over 20 years of experience in the biotech industry, including time at Takeda's Los Angeles plasma fractionation facility and 15 years at Amgen. Stephen served in various leadership roles, including plant engineering, manufacturing, and manufacturing technologies. And he holds a BS in electrical engineering from Purdue and an MBA from Colorado State University. Welcome, Stephen.
Wow, thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Great to be here, everyone.
So Sabash and Hovik, let's start tonight with a question for the two of you and then back to questions for our alumni. Can you explain the STEM Impacto grant and how it relates to the biotech program?
Of course, if I may. So the STEM Impacto program was a federally funded grant that we received at Moorpark College, which funds our biotechnology program and a couple other programs, our biology and computer network systems engineering programs. And it's designed to help the success of Hispanic and or low-income students in our program. So the way it's sort of engineered and designed is we offer a variety of different services to students who are potentially members of a cohort within each one of these three programs. So the benefits we offer to students include peer mentorship. So we'll assign to them former students or alumni that have taken our classes within the biotech program, and they'll serve as a big brother or big sister to the cohort members. We also offer tutoring services. So we'll have course embedded tutors in our introductory classes, which serve as a secondary resource for students within the cohort to seek help with their academics. We offer internship opportunities to these students. So in some cases, some of our partner companies would like to take on interns, but they don't have funds available to pay the students. So the STEM Impacto grant can fund internship opportunities for these students. Additionally, we have dedicated counselors who help students navigate their career paths, navigate financial aid, navigate potential transfer opportunities or internship opportunities for the students. We also offer faculty mentorship. So Sabash and myself, we serve as sort of faculty mentors to our students. And lastly, there's also financial benefits. So students, I apologize, I forgot one additional benefit, which is workshops. So students have the opportunity to attend about 5 or 6 workshops per semester where they get training on time management, resume writing skills, internship skills, again, financial incentives and so forth, financial aid, seeking opportunities and so forth. And so if students meet all of these requirements and they're able to fulfill a certain set of conditions, then we also offer financial incentives. So there's a little cash award at the end of the semester if students hit a series of benchmarks. So with that said, I encourage anyone who's interested in this program and in our biotech program to take a look. I'll share the link to our STEM Impacto website in the chat. And please feel free to explore and see if this is an opportunity that would make sense for you. And if you qualify, please, we highly encourage you to apply to the program and to apply to the STEM Impacto cohort.
Okay, thanks, Hovik. And I think we will start our questions now. I will ask the first question to start off with Wahid, but don't feel constrained to go in any particular order. Wahid, having been in the industry for a while now, how do you think your experiences at Moorpark prepared you for the workplace?
It was essential because when I went into the program for my very first class, which Sabash was teaching, I didn't know about biologics. So Sabash and the rest of the program showed me that there's this other world outside of small molecules. We all know about things like aspirin or Tylenol, but very few people know about some of the very powerful biologics that are out there that are curing certain cancers even. It's some groundbreaking stuff. So just being able to know about this new field of biologics, the power that it wields, that was kind of very eye-opening for me. So what everyone here who's listening now, I would just give advice to them is try to figure out the environment, like what's happening in science today. And I think if you don't understand biotechnology, you don't know about biotech companies, you don't know about biologics, this program is going to be really great at showing you all of those things. If you don't know what a hybridoma is, I didn't know going into the program. Sabash and the professors will teach you. If you don't know about monoclonal antibodies, if you don't know about different modalities on how to treat different symptoms and diseases, mechanisms of actions, all of those things will be apparent to you. And then you guys have an advantage of everyone else who doesn't know about these things. So that biotech program was critical in teaching me all of those things.
Who wants to go next?
For me, taking the biotech classes at Moorpark was extremely helpful because they mirror real life laboratory work. Like, for example, the gowning class where they bring, where the professors bring in the gowning and you actually practice. That's exactly what you will experience if you get a lab job at any big laboratory company. So knowing how to also in terms of aseptic skills in the lab when you are working, or is aseptic skills is part of what you do. So learning all those skills is gonna be very helpful. So definitely pay attention in class, pay attention to like the little things that, for example, knowing that, changing gloves, like simple things like that add up. And honestly, at my job, that's what they tell you, know how to use your pipette the right way. So definitely listen, follow your SOPs. That's what the program taught me. For me, at least, it's very helpful to really listen in class and really make sure that you get all that hands-on training they provide you with.
Cool. Kimberly.
Hi. So I actually started at Takeda on the manufacturing floor, which is how a lot of people start. It's an entry-level job here, and taking these classes really showed me, it really explained to me the different departments that we have at our company, right? So we have cell culture, we have purification, as does the Moorpark classes, right? They also teach federal regulation and government oversight. They teach about quality, and instead of having to jump around from department to department trying to figure out what everyone does or where I fit in or what my passion is, these classes really taught me what these departments were about and helped me navigate so that I could learn, okay, this is what I'm really interested in. And now I have a path forward for my career because this is a department I want to go into.
And to Kimberly's point, like there's departments that I hadn't heard of, like regulatory CMC, chemistry and manufacturing controls. You're not going to be in a Starbucks. No one's going to be saying like, hey guys, you know about CMCs? Like no one's going to know that, right? Like if you want to know about regulatory CMCs, you want that advantage over other people, just like Kimberly's saying, you hear about those things in the program. So that was really valuable for me too, Kimberly.
Cool.
I think we can move on to another question. So I wanted to ask, can you guys tell us a little bit about some of the positive aspects of your career? So what motivates you to work in the biotech industry?
For me personally, like I was saying earlier, the power of biotechnology is unprecedented. So we know about the central dogma of biology that DNA becomes RNA, which becomes proteins, and biotechnology essentially lets you control proteins throughout the body. So whether you do therapeutic proteins, monoclonal antibodies, the power to be able to intercept disease so early in the process is, we've seen amazing things happen, putting human genes right into bacteria to be able to make insulin, allow that insulin to be shared. The power of biotechnology is what really brought me to be fascinated with it and to be able to help people who are sick out there.
For me, I love that I directly work on producing products that directly impact people in a positive way. Like for example, at Thermo, what we do is we make transplant diagnostic kits, and those kits are actually used across the multiple countries, especially in Africa. And the reason why we still produce those older technologies is because other countries, of course, have older technologies because of cost. So I love that Thermo actually supplies those products that are life. Or like if someone needs a transplant in Uganda, let's say, where I'm from, by the way, but if they do, and Thermo is the only company that is gonna manufacture that kit, that's like very impactful. It's a life or death situation. So for me, I love doing this type of work because I know somewhere out there in the world, I'm helping someone directly.
My motivation day in and day out is always the patient. I have such a passion for people and for helping people. And here at our site, we have a motto. It's the first thing you see when you walk through our doors, and that's every vial has a name. And it's a reminder that at the end of the day, we are manufacturing products, but the product would mean nothing without the patient who's receiving that, So like I said, I have such a passion for people, but also I am a total nerd and I completely love science, and it intrigues me so much. So I think biotech just really brings both of those aspects together, and I don't know. I love it.
Can you tell us a little bit about your product, how it helps people?
So we actually specialize, our facility specializes in rare diseases. So that means a lot of the population doesn't have the disease. And, our facility provides these medications for a population that, would otherwise go forgotten or, just falls under the radar. So I think it's huge what we do here, especially at our site, not just the company, but all around.
I want to add something else that I enjoy working in biotech, especially working on the manufacturing flow. So for some people, I know, some people don't like working heavily with computers. So if you are that type of person where, you graduated in bio, math, but you feel like, you want to work with your hands, learn machinery, learn all that stuff, you can work with bioreactors, you can work on with large pipetting machines. So I think that's also a motivating factor if you want to work in that sort of environment versus, that typical office environment. So for me, that's also a plus.
I have another question. Has your company been involved in responding to the COVID crisis? And if so, how have you responded?
Yeah, yes, Gilead was one of the leaders. We have the first fully FDA approved product, which was remdesivir. It goes after the RNA polymerase of COVID-19. It's one of the few drugs that's variant blind. So it affects all the variants because none of them have been able to mutate their RNA polymerase. Originally, it took many months, 8 months or more to make a single batch. They've shrunk that significantly down to be able to scale up. Also, whatever we had in our stores, the Gilead gave away for free. So the thousands of vials that were available just went out there to help people immediately who had emergency access. I really love it. It slows down viral replication. And I'm proud to be a company that was able to help. And I hadn't heard of any other ones where they were willing to give out, that hundreds of thousands of vials for free, just because, the time called for it. So I really admire that.
For me, Thermo Fisher makes everything science. They are pretty big, but the way they responded to COVID was actually making COVID kits. And actually, my sister just came from Uganda 2 weeks ago, and while she was at the airport doing her COVID test, she noticed that it was a Thermo Fisher brand. So yeah, Thermo did a very good job at making those kits, at making sure that, like, just even at our job, we had weekly COVID testing. They made sure that production went on even through COVID. So yeah, they responded very well to the whole COVID crisis.
So Takeda was actually largely produced the vaccine for the patients in Japan. Aside from that, they had both direct and indirect impact for the vaccine, right? So they're not the vaccine for the crisis. I think our site was really there for our people. When the pandemic first hit and everyone was rushing to the store for toilet paper, our amazing HR department, they actually worked with the local restaurants, and every Wednesday, I believe, for all of our essential employees, we would pick up toilet paper, we'd pick up groceries, things that were really we needed, but we also had to be at work, and it wasn't they didn't make us choose between, okay, do we wake up at 6 a.m. and go get toilet paper, or do we come make life-saving therapies for our patients, right? So they were there for us. Not only that, but they provided the PPE for their employees, the testing availability, and just everything that they did for us as employees, resulted in the production of our products, right? We didn't stop production. We kept showing up every single day for our patients. And I think that is one of the most important things.
And to build off of Sofia's point, Thermo Fisher's motto is like serving science. Every lab has some sort of kit or product from Thermo Fisher. So I'm sure when the pandemic was happening, all the research that was being done, there was some Thermo product or Fisher product that was there. So Thermo definitely serves science, and every lab needs their products for sure.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's shift our questions maybe to Stephen, our industry expert. Stephen, can I ask you, what qualities do you look for in interns coming from a two-year college like Moorpark when you hire them in your company?
Sure, thank you. I think I'd maybe put it in two categories. I think initially, what I look for and what maybe our leaders or our hiring managers look for is motivation. Someone who's motivated, who's showing initiative, who has demonstrated leadership, but is just taking the effort and wants to be a part of what we do, and has a special calling to help support patients. So we have a wide range of opportunities, but I think that's initially what we look for, is that especially someone who's entering the workforce, is what is that energy and motivation, and just showing some of that initiative. Anything that you have associated with the technology side, and I think that's where this Moorpark biotechnology program is such a benefit, is getting that baseline knowledge, getting anything that has to do with STEM and some of the scientific. While it's not necessarily required, it does help you. It does help you with that learning curve. And I think those are the things that we look for, especially with students maybe from Moorpark in the program that come in.
Stephen, do you people often think that you need to be an AP Bio student or need a high level of math and science to find a career in biotech industry? Is this true?
It isn't. In fact, I'm not a biologist or a microbiologist nor an AP Bio person. So, I think the great thing that we have here, especially at the Thousand Oaks Takeda site, is we are in manufacturing. So we have opportunities that range from technicians in the manufacturing on the floor to people who work in maintenance and calibration instrumentation, who work in the labs, who work in quality, who work in engineering. And we also have scientists. So we have the full spectrum. And not all of them are AP Bio or have advanced degrees. In a lot of cases, the entry-level positions do not. And that's, I think, the benefit. So you can work in a biotechnology field, which is cutting edge, but still have the opportunity and not have to have necessarily that background. If you do have the education or additional coursework in the STEM field or scientific field, it does help and opens up opportunities for you. But you can also learn that here. And I think, as I mentioned, that's the benefit of the program here at Moorpark, is you come in to an organization and you understand what the functions do. You understand kind of the buzzwords and kind of the overall business in which we operate. And we're here to make life-changing therapies for patients. And so knowing how all of that works, sometimes it takes years to understand those different functions. And when you come into the program out of Moorpark, you have a better foundation of how that applies. And so no, you don't need that advanced degree or have that advanced science learning to be a major impact in the patients' lives and help support our mission.
I just want to add on really quickly to what Stephen was saying. I guess kind of the both previous questions. I definitely was not an AP Bio student. I didn't take a single AP class throughout my career, and nor did I receive straight A's in any of my semesters of college. But, it goes to say what Stephen is, what everything Stephen said is, 100%, he hit it on the nail, because it really is about your determination. It's about your motivation, your passion. And, we can teach people how to do things. We can teach you how to run recipes and how to use the pipette and all of that. But it's really about the character, right? So what effort are you putting into that? What are you, what is the motivation behind it? And I really think it has a lot to do with treating your here as if you were there. A lot of times we tend to wait, or we don't put in as much effort in our current roles, or, whether that be our current role in retail or, wherever we are. I think it's really about treating your now as if you were already there, giving it your all, giving it the best you can the best you can produce, right? And I think that makes a really great candidate. I'm not a people leader yet, but I feel like when I am one, that's definitely something that I'll be looking for, because I really do feel like it has so much to do with personality, right? We wouldn't be the company that we are if we were all, had this like almost robot mentality of this is exactly how you get things done, right? It's about having that can-do mindset and remembering that at the end of the day, there's always a patient on the other side of that vial.
And I think for me, since I have an economics degree and then I made an early career switch into biotechnology, I think one of the very invaluable skills is like learning your Excel if you are coming from other, if you have a math background, learn Excel, because in the lab, or like most of the instrumentations, they are all programmed. So learning, even knowing programming, you don't necessarily have to know it, but basically biotechnology involves a lot of instruments. So they always want people who know how to tell the instruments what to do. So it does really help if you know how, like programming or like Excel. You don't really have to, but if that's an industry where you're coming from, it's definitely an invaluable asset. And then definitely, I think a willingness to always learn is pretty much, for me at least, that's one of the qualities that I always develop. Like if you always really want to learn something, you will succeed no matter what. You just have, when you get a job, just go there knowing that you want to learn. Even your trainers will greatly appreciate training someone who is willing to learn.
Thank you, Sofia. And Wahid, what about yourself? Did you have like a strong background in biology before entering into the industry?
I've always loved biology, yes, but Sabash was my professor, so he knows I didn't ace every single test or quiz that he gave us. But even for people who do have biology as a background, what I was looking for was understanding my niche. Biology is such a big tent. So you could be in the physiology field, or you could be somewhere in taxonomy. And going into the biotech world, you're now exposed to like 15 different doors and opportunities that you didn't know about. So I always did love biology, and the biotech program did let me blossom further.
Okay, great, thank you. Stephen, I have one last question for you, which is, in your opinion, how do Moorpark College students fare in the workplace?
Great question. Thank you. So I think you just listened to these alumni panelists, and I think you have your answer there and how they represent themselves and represent the program. We're heavily engaged and aligned with the program for a reason, and that's because it does provide great benefit. And we see that when they graduate from the program or they go on and do other things and then come back, is that it's a great feeding ground for us as a manufacturing organization. So Kimberly is a great example of someone who's come out of the program and joined us. She's one of our rising stars here. And, we have several others. So I think that's something that is a big benefit for us and why we're so heavily engaged and want to be aligned. The opportunities here, not only at Takeda, but also in this area for biotechnology and cell therapy is fantastic. And so it's a wonderful industry with a great cause. And, having students come out with that baseline fundamentals is very important to us, and they do very well.
What about Wahid? You've worked in the industry for over a decade now, and Kimberly, I think you've been working at Takeda for 5+ years, right? So 4 years. Have you seen any of our students come through the company in your relatively short times at these companies?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Have I seen anybody?
Yeah, have you seen any of our alumni get hired at your company, and what is your opinion of our students?
To be 100% truthfully honest, I am horrible with faces. So I wouldn't be able to answer that. But I know a few students have reached out to me on LinkedIn, whether it be for, mentoring or feedback, or, hey, can you look over my resume? And if anyone here wants to add me on LinkedIn, I will always be open and willing to reply to you, to take that moment and, speak with you. So please feel free to reach out.
I'll chime in, Hovik, if I can, as HR at Takeda in Thousand Oaks. Every time we've done one of these panels, we've had a representative from Takeda as a participant. And I'm always surprised at all the different individuals who've had experience, at Moorpark College, participated in the biotechnology program, whether they started there or they went back to study while they were working. We've had several individuals who, I didn't even realize had that background. And we've also had really positive experiences bringing on interns recently. So I would absolutely say there's opportunities with us, but also in the growing local community of biotechnology companies that Stephen referenced. There's opportunities with us, but also just the industry is growing in our community, and that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, plenty of different friends. I have a close friend right now, Gabe, who wants to become an agronomist. So he's in training for that. I have another friend, Olivia. She's at Bayer. doing their health and safety. Even though she has a strong biology background, she leads the health and safety division. So there are all sorts. I have another friend, best friend, Heidi, name dropping all these people. Hopefully they don't get mad at me. She used to work at Takeda actually. So lots of different people who come in and out of the industry for sure. I think one of the benefits of biotech is, although people are kind of wary to be with a big company, being in a big company allows you more opportunities. There's more jobs. And then even when you fully develop yourself, there's now the opportunity to go into another job that's there, versus if you're at like a small 50-person company, how many places can you really jump or climb? You're at a big company like, Thermo Fisher or Takeda or Gilead or Kite. Those companies have hundreds of job postings, globally. So one of the benefits of being in a big company.
I think for Thermo, Professor Karen works with me and I love working with her. So if any of you guys have her as your professor, she's a good contact for Thermo Fisher. And I do work with a couple of students that I went to school with at Thermo. So yeah, and then I was also hired as an intern. So that's a great way to get into the company by looking at their internship programs.
Just to follow up on Sofia's comments about Professor Karen Ariola, she is a adjunct faculty at Moorpark College, but she also is head of manufacturing over at Thermo Fisher Scientific. And that's one of the nice things about our program. We have several faculty members who are adjunct faculty members that actually work in the industry. We've had an adjunct faculty from Takeda. We have Professor Melissa McCoy, who works at Curia Global. So we have had several adjunct faculty members from Amgen, Thermo Fisher, Takeda, and other biotech companies in the area. I also want to open up the forum for questions from the audience. So feel free to put in your questions in the Q&A and we will direct them to the panel as appropriate. There was a question about do the local industries support their employees to go and take classes at Moorpark, for example, or go to school at Moorpark? Maybe you can answer that, Samantha or Stephen.
Yes.
How do you do
Yeah,
that?
I mean, I'll just chime in from an HR perspective. I mean, that's a pretty common benefit at any major organization. Most companies find that in order to be competitive, we need to support ongoing development of our employees. So any established organization, you'll typically find that type of benefit. That's why we want to have such a great relationship with Moorpark College, because what you learn there can directly apply back to what we do at our site. So absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. Our site actually will send out emails saying, hey, the new semester starting. These are the classes that are available at Moorpark, and that'll go site-wide, but also our department managers, will remind us, hey, there's a class over at Moorpark being taught, and they go over A, B, and C, and this is what we're planning on doing, so I think at least here we get support all around to take these classes.
So I have a question from Vanessa. I will read it and then any of you can answer. How was the transition from being an intern to working a part-time or full-time job? Did you work more with your hands? Did you interact with more people? Was there more workload?
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say I had this experience when I was at Moorpark. I did an internship for an organization in the area called the Bioscience Alliance. I highly recommend everyone in here, just reading off random names here. So like Steve Crane or Elizabeth Nielsen, all you guys in the attendees, write down their name. Bioscience Alliance hosts events quarterly. For anyone in the region, anyone here for free can go to their events, and they have heavy hitters in the local area. So you get exposed to who are the local biotech companies, who are the players. And so when I was an intern and just helping them out, I got exposed to other people, which was great. I got exposed to the Chamber of Commerce in Conejo Valley, which was a wonderful opportunity, but it is a lower level, obviously, commitment. So maybe like 5 hours a week or so, I was helping out. Highly recommend it. But then when I went to part-time, I was actually the inaugural biology tutor at Moorpark. Part-time, you get your hands a little bit more in the weeds, helping people out, helping students out. And it's definitely, when switching from that to full-time, you're obviously dedicated 8 hours with your company. So part-time is great. Definitely a bigger step up from an intern, but nothing like an FTE where you're like a full-time with a company. So yeah, could I do part-time and maybe do Moorpark? That was a little bit difficult, but could you be an intern and do Moorpark very easily without any issue?
Sophia, you were an intern, right? And transitioned to a full-time.
Yes, I was an intern for a while, but I have to say that I had to leave the internship because I couldn't handle the workload because I was taking like 5, 6 classes. So sometimes you do have to make a choice whether you want to graduate earlier or whether you want to, do work as well as go to schools. But I definitely would advise doing school and then doing internships during the summer. At least for me, that's more, because then you want to do your internship too and give it 100% and not have to like worry between, your chemistry test versus your internship. So right after I graduated, I then got a job, and to me, that was more beneficial for me, having school separate from work. But everyone is different in that instance.
I think that actually answers a question from Claudia. So she wanted to ask you, Sophia, did you invest in a career coach to help you transition industries from economics into biotechnology? It seems like you were able to find a position without a career coach. Right?
Yeah, I did not have a career coach. I left my job I was working at a payment processing company. And then when the whole COVID thing started, I was working from home. I was one of the people who were depressed from working from home, and I hated it. So I was like, let me go back. And I was thinking of a career switch anyway. So that was a perfect opportunity for me. And I wanted to go to a school that was in person. So I was one of the people who actually had to drive to school every single day to go. So we did all those lab classes. They were so fun. And I think I would say keeping in touch with your professors, that's very helpful because they have, contact at different companies. So I say definitely use your career, whatever career type of programs you have at school. They are the most beneficial way to get a job. Like, it's easier to get a job while you are still in school, I would say, than it is after graduating, because then you don't have that direct connection to like your career office, to your professors. So definitely take advantage of your professors while you are still in school.
And maybe just to add to that from my point is, I would highly encourage career coaches, identifying mentors, making your connections within the network, whether it's through school or through companies, because it's a great way to get into companies. It's a great way to get opportunities, is to have those connections that can help you, but also guide you along the way and help. They've been in a lot of times they've been in those same situations, so they can provide advice. They can provide a little bit of guidance to help you. And it's a great way to accelerate that learning curve and accelerate your opportunities.
So I have a question thank you. I have a question from Steve Crane, and he's saying he's taking general ed courses right now in the second semester and interested in biotech. So how would he schedule the courses? He's asking whether he should just go to the website and take the courses that are listed. I think I would recommend that you see a counselor at Moorpark College. There are 2 I believe 2 or 3 dedicated counselors for biotechnology, so you can set up an appointment. That's probably the best way to do it, because they will know the ins and they will talk with you about your goals and will prepare a ed plan for you. That's the best.
One thing I can maybe add to that is, if you already have in mind that you want to go, for example, for the associate's degree, the nice thing about our courses is you can take them in any order. There are no prerequisites as far as the classes within the biotech program. So you're welcome to take them in any order. We do offer the intro class both in the fall and spring semesters, and the other classes, they're only offered once per year. So 2 additional classes in the fall and 3 additional classes in the fall and 2 in the spring. So in theory, I mean, if you do a full load and are committed, you can complete all the biotech classes within 1 academic year. But again, as Sabash mentioned, the best thing is, if you're not certain if you want to go for the associate's degree or for a certificate, a counselor would be the best person to advise you on which one of those 2 options is best.
There's a question here. Do you have any suggestions on how to find an entry-level job in the field?
I can help out with that for sure. I think it goes back to maybe a little bit of what I mentioned before, but I think it's the initiative and the motivation. One is to search out those jobs and apply. And then the second thing is to leverage your contacts or the people that you know to help put in a good word for you, because that's always a great way of connecting. But those opportunities are out there. You've got great connections with Moorpark and a biotechnology program. You've got some faces here with myself and the alumni panelists and Sam. And so, leverage us on LinkedIn and make those connections. And that definitely is a way to help.
Yeah, to touch on that, don't be scared of applying and interviewing. My colleague and I, she works on the manufacturing floor. We actually were lab partners in college together, and it was, I want to say about now, it was April of our last semester in college. So we had about a month and a half out till we graduated. And in between classes, we changed in the car, put on, our business outfits, printed our resumes, and rushed over to Takeda because they were doing a career fair. And we interviewed on the spot, and we got called back for the jobs. And we're still here 4 years later. But one of the things is, don't be scared to interview, and also don't be scared to take those contract positions. A lot of times there's some ambiguity around, what does it mean to be a contractor? Will this turn into permanent? And at the end of the day, we all get our foot in the door some way. I started off as a contractor. I think in less than 6 months, I was turned into a full-time employee. But so even if it's not directly with the company, reach out to recruiters, reach out to firms that are specialized with recruiting people for this type of industry. I think that'll be really helpful.
Kimberly, I don't know if this is good advice, but literally a coworker of mine messaged the CEO of Kite on LinkedIn, and the CEO of Kite responded very graciously to getting them to our HR. And they got hired as actually what my current role is, clinical trial management associate. So kind of like Kimberly's note of hustling and talking with people, I was shocked when I heard that story, but things like that happen. And I don't know, maybe you guys hit up Steven or Samantha and they have great information for you, but doing nothing, obviously then nothing happens.
I think also there are these programs called like leadership development programs. I'm not in it, but I know one of my kind of supervisor at Thermo he's in a leadership development program where they rotate him around different Thermo branches. So that's I would guess that's an entry-level position where Thermo would go to like a college and recruit to train you and develop you into a leader. So I think that's also a good entry level foot in the door, so to say.
And Sabash, I think I have an answer for the sociology question.
Okay, so there is a question. What about going from sociology into one of the science fields? Would that be a good idea?
So I know, for instance, epidemiology is a wonderful, powerful scientific field. It's where you take, sociology and you understand how these pandemics and epidemics affect the society at large. So you don't focus on one person, but on hundreds, thousands of people. And so you can take your sociology background and potentially pivot to epidemiology, and that would be a huge help for, I know biotech companies rely on that data as well. So don't even have to leave the field. But yeah, biotechnology has its hands in all sorts of different fields.
Sophia, you switched from economics to biotechnology.
Yes, I did switch. And yeah, I mean, it's not like, because what I'm doing requires a lot of we do use a lot of Excel. So it's actually the only addition is the lab work. So yeah, it requires numbers, everything is the same. So it's definitely a very malleable field where you are able to switch from different industries and still be able to integrate into it pretty easily.
I would suggest try a class and see how you like it. At the end of the day, you want to have a job or work in a field that you're passionate about. And, if you're thinking about, okay, how many years did I lose in being a sociology major? I've already given it 1 year. And if I switch now, I have to do an extra year, right? At the end of the day, a year is going to pass by no matter what. The difference is, did you do something with that year, or did you stay in a career that you weren't enjoying, right? So I would encourage you, take a class in the biotech course, see how that feels, find your passion and chase that.
It's a good idea. I think that our intro to biotech class is a good one to take to figure that out. And it doesn't hurt to take one class. You learn something new and helps you make a decision.
One thing I might add here is similar to what Wahid was saying, using your background in sociology to apply to the biotech field. An important thing that comes up in many products that are designed is the bioethical considerations, right? So you can use your background in sociology to try to make decisions about, what is the best way to market this product? Is it worth doing tests in a certain population in a certain country, that sort of stuff. So you can use, again, like Wahid was saying, your sociology background and combine it with maybe your interest in the biotech field and leverage those together to get a position within a biotech company.
There's a question from Monique about, is the intro to biotech class available in the summer? Unfortunately, no, it's available in fall and spring. Yes.
Okay, I think we are probably getting close to the end of questions. So I think with that said, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. That was a wonderful discussion. And we're going to wrap up for tonight by hearing again from our foundation board member, Samantha Sale. So Samantha, I'll hand it over to you again.
Right. Yeah, so I just like to echo thank you to Sabash, Hovik, all the panelists. That was a great conversation. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a member of the board of directors for the Moorpark College Foundation, and the foundation provides many services and events like this for students at Moorpark College, alumni, and just the general community. And the foundation does focus on three main areas of support. The first is providing scholarships. That's an ongoing priority. Last year, the foundation awarded over $182,000 in scholarships to Moorpark students, and we're currently planning this year's scholarship award ceremony in May. The second major area is the Rising Scholars Program, which identifies first-generation college students in middle school, and it provides them with tutors and mentors throughout their middle and high school coursework, and then grants them free tuition at Moorpark College with a guaranteed transfer to a four-year institution. And then lastly, we have Raider Central, our basic needs center located next to the cafeteria. And this supports our students with their most immediate needs. And the need for a basic needs center has never been more critical and the Moorpark College Foundation is determined to make sure that no student should go to class hungry or worried where they're going to sleep at night. And these initiatives are really important, and events like this help us introduce you to our students and programs to illustrate just what the Moorpark College students can accomplish when they're given an opportunity to succeed. So if you'd like more information about the next Alumni Forum or the foundation, you can find us at moorparkcollege.edu/foundation. And if you'd like more information about the Moorpark College Alumni Association and what they have to offer, you can visit moorparkcollege.edu/alumni. And again, I'd like to thank our panelists and the faculty for this evening's discussion. I'd like to thank everyone for their continuing support for the biotechnology program and our alumni. Thank you all and have a great evening.
Yeah.
Bye.